All right, folks, let's go through and finish up these notes. Now you will see that I have changed the type of inequalities. So the next section says determine several values that will satisfy each inequality. So for what values of x can I put in there so that the absolute value of x is greater than or equal to 4? Well, I could put in 4, I could put in 5, 6, 7, and I could put up any number in there that's greater than 4. But because it's an absolute value, I could put in -4, -5, -6, and any number that is less than -6. So you can see that either any of my answers could be greater than or equal to 4 or less than or equal to -4. The same will be true if the absolute value of y is greater than or equal to 11. Well, I could put in 11, 12, 13, and I could keep going higher. Or I could put in -11, -12, -13, and I could keep going lower because the absolute value will turn it positive. If I have the absolute value of u is greater than or equal to 5, then I could put in 5, 6, 7, all the way up as high as you want to go. I could put in -5, -6, -7, and as low as you want to go. Because if I put in -100 and I take the absolute value, it's 100, and 100 is greater than or equal to 5. So let's think of greater than absolute value inequalities as the phrase greater than. Notice I put the or in quotations. Therefore, you will need to set up an or inequality to determine the solution. The endpoints of the or inequality will be the positive and negative versions of the original critical number. So I want you to notice that the less than problems we just did were and inequalities. These are greater than problems, and these will be or inequalities. So if I want to solve this absolute value problem, the first thing I notice is this thing is a greater than. So I need to set up an or inequality. Now, remember what it said back here. The endpoints are going to be the positive and negative versions of the original critical number. So, if I'm going to set up my first part of the or inequality, this is going to be the positive version. I just write it down exactly how I see it. The negative version, once I put my or in there, remember when we multiply by a negative in an inequality, we have to flip the symbol. And then I put the negative version of that inequality. Let's look at number 2. Again, this is an or inequality, greater than. So the positive version is exactly how we see it without the absolute value. Or the negative version flips the symbol and makes that number negative. All right, let's look at the third one here. Again, this is a greater problem. So I'll set up the positive version, exactly how I see it without the absolute value bars, or the negative version, flips the symbol and makes it -8. All right, so you can see that these are different from and problems because the and problem set up the 3-part inequality. The or problems set up 2 inequalities with an or between them. And now all that's left to do is we need to solve these. And you should be really good at doing these by now. And it looks like that. Well, let's do our number line. The 4 gets an open circle shaded to the right. The 2 gets an open circle shaded to the left. And since this is an OR problem, we leave it exactly how it is. All right, let's come to the red one in the middle. Solve for t. Number line. They both get open circles. The 5 is shaded to the right, the 1 is shaded to the left. And the green problem, we gotta solve for h. We're just isolating the h here, folks. Number line. Both of them get closed circles. The 2 is shaded to the right, and the negative 1.2 is shaded to the left. All right, I think we've got 3 more down here. All right, these are all greater than a problem. So we're going to set up our positive version or our negative version. The negative version flips the symbol. Solve for C. Again, I am just isolating the C here. You've done this 100 times by now. Number line. Circles. Shading. Again, if this is going too fast for you, stop it, pause it, replay it, whatever you need. Another OR problem, so we'll set up the positive version, or we'll set up the negative version. Solve for A. Number line. Circles and the shading. Last but not least here, number 6. Set up your positive version, or then we have our negative version. Solve for W. Number line. And shading. All right, folks, so I need you to remember that there are 2 possibilities for an absolute value inequality. You have the AND inequality. The AND inequality is what we did on the last video, where you set up the 3-piece inequality with the negative version on the left and the positive version on the right with the 3 pieces. And then you have the OR inequality, where you set up 2 different inequalities, the positive version or the negative version, remembering that with the negative version you flip your symbols. The homework that goes along with this is here. Have a good night, and I will see you back here tomorrow.